Today marks 80 years since the liberation of Auschwitz. Survivors from this time now have their children and grandchildren to retell their stories so the world doesn't forget. And these atrocities never happen again. It is a privilege to hear from firsthand from a Holocaust survivor. Even if you grew up hearing their experiences, recalling the past is reliving it, and we are doing so to learn. Jeannine Paul is a 94-year-old Holocaust survivor whose story begins in France and brought her to Memphis to share with us.
Until July of 1942. My mother came home from the shopping for groceries, and she told my brother, don't go out, don't go to work. They're rounding up men on the streets. And pretty soon, knock on the door. There were always two French policemen and a German policeman, a German soldier. And they came to arrest my father. And my mother said, well, my husband died. Here's his death certificate. And they said, well, the father's not here, we'll take the son. So he was sent to, well, I know he ended up in Auschwitz. I found that years later. In October 1942, about 6 a.m., there was a knock on the door, and the same thing. Two policemen and a German soldier came to arrest my mother and me. They told her to pack her bags, and I heard them say, "Isn't she a cute little girl? Let's not take her. Let's leave her here." So that's what happened. I begged my mother to let me go. I want to go with my mother. I was 12 years old, and my mother kept pushing me away. They allowed me to walk her to the police station. So I was left alone at 12 years of age. Well, the war broke out in 1939. I was just 9 years old. And just before my 10th birthday, my mother, brother, and my father, we evacuated Paris because we heard that Paris was going to be bombed. We walked a lot, and we started throwing away all our belongings along the way. And we walked through a burning village. And I remember my father's reaction when we saw burned bodies on the bridge. And things are still in my brain. I will never forget it, but life goes on. Everybody has some tragedy in their lives, but you can't let it affect you for the rest of your life. I was sent to it's called a préventorium. There's not such a word in English. It's like a sanitarium for sickly kids. This woman took me to a church where the priest was falsifying Jewish children's identities. So they changed my name, which was Smid, S-M-I-D. They changed it to Boyne. And that's where I spent the war years. And of course, I was not a sick child, but we only had school 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the afternoon. Until in 1945. And I wanted to go back to Paris in case my mother and brother came back. And I went back to Paris. And Mrs. Mio, she was the one that worked underground, falsifying, children's, and placing children all over the, Switzerland and France. And she said, what am I going to do with you? So they thought, well, maybe they'll send me to a trade school, because I didn't have much schooling. It was called La Petite République, the Little Republic. It was a co-ed school run by the French government, and that's where I started my art education, actually. And my father was very artistic, and I can't remember when I started, you know, ever since I could draw, pick up a pencil, I was drawing and sketching. And what I wanted to do when I came to the States, go to Pratt School, but didn't happen. As it turns out, my best friend turned out to be Dickie Ehrlich. She had been through 9 concentration camps. We met in an art store. Been painting for so many years now, and it's an escape. It's a form of therapy. It's just something that I've done all my life.
Thank you, Jeannine, for sharing with us. She mentioned being an artist and taking classes at the Memphis College of Art, so you should visit her work yourself. A collection of her vibrant paintings are on view at Palladio, where you can grab a coffee and enjoy. After the break, we'll connect even deeper on what we can learn and use to move forward. See you guys in a minute.